Natural disasters have become a major concern for ASEAN countries, as we all understand that damages caused by any kind of disasters, such as earthquakes, floods, or storms, could destroy economies.
Right, and the worst flood crisis in 5 decades in Thailand just last year caused damages estimated at least 185 billion baht by the latest estimation from Federation of Thai Industry. With this amount, it also includes 95 billion baht damage on Thai industry, 25 billion baht damage on Thai agriculture, and another 65 billion baht damage on the housing in the communities and suburb villages.
Moreover, 930 factories in 28 provinces were affected during the multiple industrial estates in Ayudhya and Pathum Thani that were hard hit by the flood crisis, with a large part of the damages stemming from the effect of the manufacturing industry. The flooding has been estimated to result in a decrease of 0.6 to 0.9% in economic growth.
Well, besides Thailand, the economies of other countries were also significantly impacted by the flood. The hardest hit is Japan, with a lot of its plants located in Thailand. And last year's flooding has scared investors and tarnished the kingdom's image as home of strategic locations for business operations and manufacturing plants, affecting confidence among investors.
To prevent the country from future possible floods, the Thai government has come up with a big investment of 350 billion baht for the construction of flood control measures throughout the country.
Right, and in her recent visit to Japan, Thai Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra assured 1,200 Japanese businessmen at a seminar that Thai-Japan partnership would endure floods and any natural woes and move on to become an engine for growth and prosperity in Asia.
She said Thailand is in the process of implementing an effective water management system, outlining 4 key flood control measures, including ensuring effective water retention via dams, identifying more water retention areas, construction of flood barriers at industrial zones, and unifying command centers to regulate water flow.
Right, Nakorn Industrial Promotion Zone, one of the hardest hit industrial states in Pathum Thani province, has become the very first one to complete a flood prevention measure by constructing permanent flood prevention wall surrounding the estate.
With partial support in investment from the government, Nakorn, also the first and oldest industrial estate, started constructing the permanent flood prevention wall since February the 15th this year. The project is expected to be completed by August the 31st and will be fully operational at the end of September this year, with a big investment of $40 million.
On the day of the official efficiency testing ceremony, ASEAN 1 has a chance to interview Nipit Arunvongse, Ayudhya, Managing Director of Nava Nakorn Public Company Limited, on how the Nava Nakorn came up with a plan to build a permanent flood prevention wall and the situation of manufacturing operations within the industrial estate after the flood crisis.
Joining our program today is Kun Nipit Arunvongse Ayudhya, the Managing Director of Nava Nakorn Public Company Limited. So, สวัสดีครับ คุณ
สวัสดีครับ
Nipit. Let's jump back to the time during the flooding period. What is the total damage of Nava Nakorn Industrial Estate?
Total damage, if value in cost, should be around 50 billion baht.
Right.
Totally. And total number of the factories, the 215 factories in here, is I would say like mostly totally damaged and flooded, caused by the flooding.
So during that period, were there any supports or helps from the government?
Yes, the government supported us since even before the flood is coming. They sent the armies,
Right.
around 1,000 of soldiers coming and many officers coming in to help construction the dike made from sandbag, and to protect all the flooded. But too bad that we couldn't bear the waters coming.
Right. What about the reactions from the investors here in Nava Nakorn Industrial Estate?
Of course, after the flooded, everybody was so panic and I don't know what to do. But after a while, then we try to organize the logistic by water at that time.
Right.
Still, many of the factory have to go on manufacturing, because otherwise the many parts will be out of the market, and that will be obstruct all the many industries, for example, like automobiles. So we use the transport by all the barge and boat, and we do the temporary port in front of Nakorn instead.
Well, let's talk about the project to build the flood prevention wall here. Did the government join the investment of the project?
As you see here, the system that we're using now is we call concrete corrugated sheet pile. It's the dike, as we say, made from pre-stressed concrete with a prefabricated system. Total investment of this one is for the flood protection wall only is 790 million baht.
Right.
The government will support 2/3 of that.
So they also invest in
Yes,
the project.
yes.
And what about the collaboration among the factories in the industrial estate?
They are all very good coordination with us, and we have like weekly meeting on the direction which they think we should go. There's a lot of discussion and arguing, but towards the direction that how to be protect and be confident in what we are doing, and at last we coming with this project, and they feel very pleased on this project. I think make them more confident on staying here and or reinvest or a new investor coming.
Right. So there are a lot of ways to manage water and flood water, like channelizing the canals to make it deeper in order to make the way for the water to flow. Why did Nakorn Industrial Estate choose to build the concrete wall?
We have to do both systems together. What I'm saying is that one thing we are investing on the protection wall. Another thing is that to upgrade the canal and floodway also.
Right.
Even the upgrade to the pumping system from what we have around 500,000 cubic meters a day up to 800,000 meters a day. And we add one more of the pumping station on the western side of the Nakorn also, which is very important. So not only protecting the flood inside, but also pumping the water outside and re-upgrade the routing of the flowing for the waters inside also.
Are there any companies moved out of the factories during the flooding period?
As I heard, no company moved out, but yes, 7 companies has been closed. Maybe from problem of financials or problem with the insurance. But other than that, they're still here, and many of them are expanding also.
Right. So I heard that there are some factories moving in, the new factories. How many of them?
After opening, we have 4 more new company now
Right.
building the new factories here, and we have another 8 company in line to sign the contracts.
And talking about the factories running their business in Nakorn Industrial Estate right now, what is the proportion between Thai and foreign factories?
Major investor is Japanese.
Right.
I would say almost 50%. And then the rest would be Taiwanese, Singaporean, Western. Yeah, and another 30% is Thai.
Right.
Last year's water level during the floods were around 4.7 meters, but to ensure the capacity and efficiency of the wall and to create confidence among investors, Nakorn Industrial Estate raised the height of the wall to 5.5 meters.
Right, and we'll come back after a short break with more insight on the permanent flood prevention wall at Nakorn Industrial Estates and the reaction from foreign investors.